afternoon. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Oklahoma City Water Utilities Trust for March 20, 2012. First order of business is to approve the minutes of the March 6, 2012 meeting of this trust, and I recognize a motion to that effect.
Move it.
Second. Moved and seconded. Any questions? We'll vote. Approved. We have the consent docket.
Move approval subject to individual considerations.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any individual items for consideration?
Mr. Chairman, I have a couple of minor questions.
Yes, sir.
On item A, this is addendum to a contract. And I think I know the answer, but I wanted to make sure that the modification they talk about was included in the bid price, going from a 50,000 or 100,000 gallon tank to a 370,000 gallon tank.
Yes, sir. I see your point. Originally, we had thought it would be a smaller tank, and what we're actually going to build, having come through the design process, is something larger.
And then on item C, this is a FOG project.
Yes.
And will this particular program include a public information piece to it?
Yes, we'll continue public information and develop additional documents for customers. In this case, we're trying two different methods for treatment to remove fat soils and grease that build up in sewers. One's biological and one's chemical. It's really a heat process. Other utilities report that both work. I think perhaps they work better in some circumstances than others, and we want to see whether one or the other will work better for us. Cleaning sewers remains a key fact. In this case, we're looking at places where we have recurring fat soil and grease buildup that's not related to a structural issue in the pipe, nor is it related to identified individual users. It tends to be a gradual accumulation based on the total population in an area, for example. So we're looking at recurring treatment.
Are those problems more closely associated with residential or commercial?
They are both. Commercial tends to be regulated through the required pretreatment program, through the industrial pretreatment program that's required with our NPDES permits. Generally, we find that the more people there are, higher densities of people are more likely to produce a grease buildup, and there's no particular, other than humans use grease.
And then on item G, this is relates to an emergency notification communication project. What kind of emergency issues with this contractor handle? I mean, I know that you gave some examples of particular instances, but how would they do it? Would they be our liaison to the radio and TV stations and newspapers?
This is actually telephone dialing. We do not plan to make a habit of it, but there have been a few instances where that's been very helpful.
A robo-dial.
Yes.
And you can segregate an area that's impacted with enough precision to make it work.
Yes, and in-house we don't have those skills, but contractors do.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions? Consent document has been moved and seconded. We'll vote. Approved. Concurrence docket. We have three items. Would recognize a motion to approve the consent docket.
Move approval subject to individual consideration.
Moved and seconded. Are there any items for individual consideration? Seeing none, we'll vote. Approved. Next, we have items for individual consideration. First, we have a resolution ratifying the action of the general manager in issuing emergency purchase order number 11302011RS01 to Warren Cat, rebuilding of a diesel engine for high service pump station number 1, backup pump system project WT0103 at Draper Water Treatment Plant. Estimated cost $80,730.49.
Move approval.
It's been moved. Is there a second? Moved and seconded. Are there any questions? Seeing none, we'll vote. Approved. In a few moments, we'll take a vote to move into an executive session, but why don't we go ahead and do the other items first? Are there any items from trustees? General manager reports.
Mr. Chairman, these are pretty much standardized reports. I have little to add, except I want to give you an update on our water supply lakes. In the southeast, where we had an abundance of rain in Atoka and Cole counties, our lakes are filling pretty rapidly today. McGee Creek is in the flood pool. Atoka is up over a foot in the last several hours and is just 3.5 feet below full today, so we're very excited about that. Lake Canton has increased a bit. It's at 1606.2, which leaves it about 9 feet below the flood pool. So it has a ways to go. It has about 52,000 acre-feet in it at this time. Lake Hefner's up to about 4.5 feet from full. Overholser's up a little bit. Draper also caught some rain and is up about 1/2 foot. We're pumping zealously down the Atoka pipeline at about 80 MGD, helping to fill Lake Draper, getting ready for the summer. We're expecting more rain and hoping for it in the western part of the state, as I'm sure all of the people who live there are. Yes.
Are there any other questions or comments regarding the status report of the utility department? We will also have a fiscal year 2012 OQUAT monthly performance status report. Have you finished that? Okay.
Yes, sir. Happy to answer questions on any of the staff reports.
Is there a motion to approve those status reports?
So moved. Second.
Moved, seconded. We'll vote. Approved. Looks like we have one more operating cash flow projection report.
Yes, sir. Again, happy to answer questions.
Are there any questions?
Move approval.
It's been moved and seconded. We'll vote. Approved. Are there any citizens to be heard? I would now ask for a motion to enter into executive session, and I guess we have a voice vote for each one. Is that
So moved.
okay, I'll do it on that. It's been moved and seconded. Roll call vote. Okay, so executive session has been approved, so we will adjourn into executive session.